Hello, beautiful people of the internet. How are you doing today? My name is Jackie, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So, in today's video, I'm going to be basically telling on myself and holding myself accountable. This video is going to discuss all of the series that I am currently reading as of June 4th. Today's June 4th. 2023. And I suspect it's going to be quite a lot. I had to set some ground rules for this list just so it wouldn't be many hours long. Basically, in this video, I am going to list all series I currently am reading and plan on continuing. I only included books where I know I'm going to keep reading the series and not ones where, say, I read the first book and I'm kind of on the fence about whether I will continue them or not. I am also going to tell you how many books I need to read in each series. However, to make this video not extremely long, I am only including series where there are books in the series that are currently out that I have not read yet. So if, for instance, there's a series that I read and I am currently all caught up on the installments, but, say next year another book is going to come out, I did not include those on this list. I only included series that I know I want to keep reading and where I am currently behind. I need to do some catching up. Then at the end, I'm going to tally it all up and tell you how many series continuations I need to read to be caught up with the series. I suspect it's going to be a lot. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm going to start with the series where I have only one book to read to be caught up or finish the series. And then at the end, I will talk about the series that I have the most books left to read in. I don't know if that sentence made any sense. Let's just dive in. Hopefully you can follow what I'm saying. So let's start with some good news, some positivity. I have one book left to read in the Arc of a Scythe trilogy by Neal Shusterman. That is The Toll. And that book is on this month's TBR, and I have a copy right here. So if I actually complete my TBR this month, I will be finished this series. Now, it is a 600-page book, which I did not realize when I put it on the TBR. But that's okay. I think I can do it, and it will feel amazing to complete a series. This is a young adult dystopian novel. It takes place in a future where mankind has eradicated death. And you guys, it is so good. This is the best young adult series I have read since The Hunger Games. Definitely worth checking out if you haven't yet. So good. Then I have one book left to read in the Elements of Cadence duology by Rebecca Ross. I read A River Enchanted this year, and now I still need to read A Fire Endless. I put this on, I think it was my May TBR, and I didn't read it, so from positivity to negativity, I'm reminding you of my failures, but I do really want to read this second book in the series. This is a fantasy duology that takes place in a magical world inspired by Scotland. I really did quite enjoy the first book. The ending, not my favorite, so I'm a little nervous to see where it's going to go, but I would love to finish this duology this year and tick this off my list too. Oh, next, I have one book left to read in the Veronica Speedwell series by Deanna Raybourn, A Sinister Revenge. There will be more books in this series after this, I believe, but this is the only book that's been published, which I still have to read. This is a historical mystery series set in Victorian London, and I've always really enjoyed it. This book kind of inspired my love for historical mysteries. I'm now trying to get one published, so it really did changed my life in some ways. I will say the last few books I have not enjoyed as the earlier installments, but I'm cautiously optimistic. So we'll see. It would be really nice to get caught up on this series as well. And then I also realized I technically never finished the A Song of Ice and Fire series by George R.R. Martin. I started A Dance with Dragons and I DNF'd it. This was a few years ago, right after Game of Thrones ended, and I just at that point was not super excited about continuing the series because while I trust George R.R. Martin more than I trust D&D, you know, I am nervous because one, the ending to the books is probably not going to be that different from the show, and two, who even knows when the next book is coming out? It's been years. I'm not sure how many. I'm thinking at least 6 years since George R.R. Martin last published A Song of Ice and Fire book. But I guess at some point, I need to read A Dance with Dragons. Maybe when he finally announces The Winds of Winter, I'll read it. I also need to read the second and third books in The Lord of the Rings by Tolkien. I read The Fellowship of the Ring like a year or two ago, and I've been meaning to continue. It just hasn't happened yet. I really wish my library had the audiobooks. I think if they did, I probably would have finished the series by now, because I would just love to be able to have it as an audiobook. I think that would really help me get through it. I liked the first book. I will say I did not love it like a lot of other people did, but I do have the books, and I would like to finish this series at some point. We'll see when that happens. I need someone to give me a kick in the pants and get me to continue. I need to read 3 books in the Parveen mystery series by Sujata Massey. This is another historical mystery series that takes place in Bombay. I think in the early 1900s. The main character, Parveen, is Bombay's first female lawyer. I did quite enjoy the first book, so I would like to continue the series, and I believe a romantic interest is introduced in book 2, so I would love to have another historical mystery slow burn romance to obsess over. Oh, next I have the Tommy and Tuppence mysteries by Agatha Christie. I just adore Tommy and Tuppence. They are a married couple who solve crimes together. These books are so delightful, witty, and just all around fun, murder mystery romps. They're not all actually murder mysteries, I don't think, but they're just really a lot of fun. I love the 2 main characters. I still have 3 books in the series left to read, and honestly, I wish there were more. I love Tommy and Tuppence. If the Agatha Christie estate is ever looking for someone to write more Tommy and Tuppence, hit me up. I absolutely adore them. I do know that the last 2 Tommy and Tuppence books are generally regarded as not being great. I believe Postern of Fate is considered one of Agatha Christie's worst novels, but at least Tommy and Tuppence will be in them. And I have heard that N or M, which I still haven't read, is a really good one. So at least I have that to look forward to. Agatha Christie estate, if you need someone to write about Tommy and Tuppence, you know where to find me. I also need to finish the Sherlock Holmes mysteries. I don't think I need to tell you what these are about. Everyone knows who Sherlock Holmes is, I think. Even if you yourself haven't read the books, you've probably heard of him. I do enjoy these. I actually like the short stories better than the novellas. And usually I don't like mystery short stories, but with Sherlock Holmes, I just love him in that format. I have 4 books left. Some are novellas, some are short story collections. We'll just tick away at that little by little. Always fun to read Sherlock Holmes. Then I have 5 books left to read in the Mr. and Mrs. Darcy murder mystery series by Carrie Beveris. This is a very fun series where a married Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy, the characters from Pride and Prejudice, end up solving murders, and along the way they encounter characters from other Jane Austen novels. I gave the first two books 3 stars each because I did not absolutely love the murder mystery plots in them. However, I have heard that the mysteries get better as the series goes on, and I absolutely love the way this author writes Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy. They feel very true to their original characters, in my opinion. I absolutely love murder mysteries, and I love Pride and Prejudice. So reading about my all-time favorite fictional couple solving crimes is an absolute delight. I also have to read 5 more Outlander novels. I did not include the novellas in this count. I did not read those either, but since they're not full-length novels, I did not count them. This series is a time travel historical romance. You've probably heard of it. The TV adaptation on Starz is very popular, and I really love the show. That's why I started reading the books. I watched the show first. I also put my May TBR with A Fire Endless, The Fiery Cross. And did I read The Fiery Cross? No, I did not even crack it open. So once again, reminding you of my failures, but I would like to read the rest of the series at some point. They are all quite thick, so they intimidate me a bit, but I do enjoy these books. Will continue, hopefully before the show goes off the air. Next, I also have to read 12, yes, 12 more books in the Charles Lennox Mysteries by Charles Finch. This is another historical mystery series, and it follows gentleman sleuth Charles Lennox in Victorian-era England. Most historical mysteries are serious, and they're my new favorite genre, which means I'm having, even more series on my hands here. I need to start finishing some of these before I start new ones. But these are pretty fun books. They're always really easy to read, which is a good thing because I got 12 more of them coming. And that's a lot. Even if I read one Charles Lennox book every month, that would take me a whole year. That's kind of crazy, isn't it? Now, probably know what's coming next if you usually watch my videos. There are 2 more series I'm currently in the middle of. Both very long series. They are by the same author, someone who I've already mentioned in this video, Agatha Christie. So, I am reading her Miss Marple mysteries, and in that series, if you include the short story collections, I have to read 13 more Miss Marple books. This is including the short story collections, but it's a lot. It's a lot of Miss Marple books. This is one of her more popular series, and it stars Miss Marple, our nosy spinster sleuth, in her adventures. Really cute, delightful mysteries. I love Agatha Christie, and I made it a personal goal to read every single mystery she ever wrote. And she wrote a lot of them. So I'll be reading Agatha Christie for a few more years, at least. And finally, the last series I'm currently reading and that I need to finish is another Agatha Christie series. It's the Poirot mysteries. And you know how many more Poirot books I have to read? Just guess. Guess. How many do you think there are? The answer is 34. I couldn't even say that with a straight face. 34 more Poirot books. I will say, okay, some of these are short story collections, and some of the short story collections overlap with Miss Marple. So it's kind of like less than 34, since we already counted some of them for Marple. But still, so many. There's so many books. I do love a good Poirot. I love Agatha Christie. I love her writing style and her little bursts of wit, as well as her cleverly plotted murder mysteries. I also want to read a lot of Poirot because I've started watching episodes from the Poirot series starring David Suchet, and I really like that series, but obviously I don't want to watch an episode when I haven't read the book yet. So, like, there is, that incentive to read more Poirot so I can watch more episodes of Poirot. But it's gonna take me a while to read 34 Poirot novels or short story collections. But that's fine, I'm okay if it takes me like another 5 years to finish Agatha Christie because she's not alive, so she's never going to write any more books. There's not necessarily that need to get caught up like there is with series that are still going on. So I can take my sweet time, at least. That's good. So we've reached the end of the video. I did the math, and I have to read 85 more books and series. If you add up the number of books I have to read to finish each one of these series or get caught up with the series that they're still going on, it's 85 books. And if we take out Poirot, it's still 51. That's so many. If I completed all of these series, except for Poirot, reading one book per week, it would take me just 1 week shy of an entire year to get caught up on all of them. That's really crazy. Oh my god, I need to read these series. No. And I'm only just gonna start more because I want to read more historical mysteries and educate myself on the genre that I hope to write. But that means I need to start like 10 more series. Send help. Oh my gosh. So everyone, I hope you enjoyed me publicly shaming myself. Let me know in the comment section which of these series would you like to see me continue first. Do let me know. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more from me. I post new videos every Wednesday and Sunday. My social media links are down below if you want to follow me on Tumblr, Instagram, or be my friend on Goodreads. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye, and I'll see you next time. Excuse me, I need to go read some series. Goodbye.